Okay, today we want to continue with the data analysis process. As mentioned previously, from the sample, one is one of method to do the sampling by using random sample. However, from the sample, we can represent what the meaning from the population. Okay, so from the sample, we can make the inference. Okay, inference about the population. For example, if you got the average for in here, we can make the population average is around 4 plus plus, but we have the some method to do the inference. Okay, we will explain later. Okay, the analysis process involve the main two process lah, collections of data and also the analysis of data. So the both task is very critical. Okay, but I think you need to also one very important is the interpretation of data. Okay, interpretation is how you want to explain the data. For example, if you can see from the road accident, so you can write how many total number of accident, how many dead, how many involved the motorcycle accident, how many involved the car and whatsoever. So I think this is the critical part. Raw data without analysis are a little value, and even a sophisticated analysis cannot extract meaningful information from data that were not collected in sensible and sensible way. Okay, the data analysis process can be viewed as a sequence of steps that lead from planning to the data collection to inform a conclusion based on the resulting data. Okay, and then there is six step, right? Six step to do the data analysis. First is understand the nature of the problems, decide what are to measure and how to measure it, and then do the data collection, make data summarize and primary analysis, and then formal data analysis and also interpretation. For example, if you want to do on road accident, so what you want to measure, okay, how to measure, for example, total number of accident, how you want to measure it. Okay, so how you want to collect the total number of accident, maybe you get record from what police traffic, record from police traffic. So and then how you want to make summarize, okay, and primary analysis, you want to do descriptive, okay, and others, and then make a formal data analysis, okay, for the inference statistic. And then from that, you need to interpret also the result. Okay, for example, from the newspaper and road accident, we have the total number of accident, how many involved the motorcycle, how many involved the car, how many people died and whatsoever, how many injured, or how many person in a hospital and others. Okay, this is the detail for the first phase is to understand the nature of the problems. First, you need to understand what are the problems, know the goal for the research and what question we hope to answer. Okay, what the goal and what the question. Have a clear direction before gathering data to lessen the chance of being enabled to answer the question of interest using the data collection. So you have the clear process. What are the problems? What the direction? The goal for the research. Okay, and what the question. Okay, and then decide how to measure and what to measure and how to measure it. For example, in the case you choose study the relationship between the height of the football player and positions. You may need to collect the data from the player weight and also the position. Okay, the relationship between the weight and also the rules of player. Is it center or goalkeeper kan? Okay, goalkeeper. Normally goalkeeper got the highest compared to the center, because the center you need to go every area. Okay. And then, but the other case, the choice of the information is not as straightforward. For example, the study in the relationship between preferred learning style and intelligence. How will you define the learning style? How you want to measure it? What measure of intelligence should be used? Okay, this is like the social science. This is a social science study. Okay. What this is important to carefully define the variable. Okay, what variable you want to do. Okay, to study and to develop the appropriate methods for the determining their value. So for example, the variable for the weight, also for the position. Okay, in here make sure you have the variable for learning style, what you mean by intelligent, okay, whatsoever. It depends on the study. Data collection. So decide whether an existing data collection is equipped or whether a new data must be collected. So for your project, I want you to collect the new data. We focus on primary data. If decision is made to use existing data, the secondary data, it is important to understand how the data we collected and what the purpose, why you want to collect and what the purpose you want to collect the data. If a new data to be collected, primary data, a carefully planned must be developed. So you have the proper planning in here. The type of analysis is appropriate and subsequent conclusion that can be drawn depends on how the data are collected. Okay. And then data summarize and primary analysis. Summarize the data in graphical and numerical. The initial analysis provides insight into the important characteristic of the data and can provide guideline in the selecting appropriate method for the further analysis. Okay. Formal data analysis. Select and apply the appropriate inference statistic method. Okay, this is for inference statistic. Okay, because you cannot use all. It depends on the pattern of the data. Okay, interpret the result. What the conclusion you can draw from the analysis. You can say, for example, the total number of accident is whatsoever. Okay, maybe the highest number of accident in which month. Okay, because what? Because of celebration and whatsoever. Okay, how do you analyze the how do the result of the analysis inform us about the state of the research problem of the question? You need to go back to the research question or the research problems. Okay, so make sure you can answer in the interpretation. Okay, how can our result guide for the future study? Also for the future study. So maybe if you study between the weight and the position for the football player. So maybe the future study football player. You can also make the study for the others uh, games. Okay, okay. Is it get the similar result or not? Okay.